Welcome back to the 99. So I put up a little poll, like I said I was going to do every other week, most likely, to see what people wanted to hear. And the vote this week was for modern technology discovered in Bible prophecy. So we're going to start off in Daniel, for anybody who's following. Daniel chapter 12, verses 1 through 4. And this says, "At that time, Michael, the archangel, who stands guard over your nation, will arise. Then there will be a time of anguish greater than any since nations first came into existence. But at that time, every one of your people whose names is written in the book will be rescued. Many of those whose bodies lie dead and buried will rise up, some to everlasting life, and some to shame and everlasting disgrace. Those who are wise will shine as bright as the sky, and those who lead many to righteousness will shine like the stars forever. But you, Daniel, keep this prophecy as secret, seal up the book until the time of the end, when many will rush here and there, and knowledge will increase." So it says, and knowledge will increase. So that's the part that we're focusing on right now. Over 2,500 years ago, let's see, is when this prophecy took place. So it was not fulfilled until the end of time, which obviously we are in now. The last days, the end times, whatever people call it. Let's see. The wheel was even considered technology back in the day. So here's some key points. I think he has 4. 3. Okay. They're a little longer, but okay. So an increase of knowledge and increase in travel. The advancements increase of travel. So in 4000 BC, historians say man was becoming proficient in training and doing, what was that say? I'm not sure what I wrote there. Let's see. About then, the wheel was invented in 4000 BC. About 3500 BC, the fixed wheels on carts and boats starting to be made and normalized. In 2000 BC was the first chariots. Now, just a little side note, little squirrel thing for Teresa. Something that is actually cool is, so they're finding actual proof of, Bible stories and stuff like that. Like scientists, archaeologists, like deep sea divers, whoever, like they're finding like physical proof that the Bible stories are real. And one of those things that I thought was super cool is the chariots, actually. So deep sea divers are, so like where the Red Sea, like where Moses parted the Red Sea and the Israelites went across to get away from Pharaoh and all of them. So they have found, deep sea divers in that area have found chariot wheels and like horse skeleton heads, and like proving that the crossing of the Red Sea happened, which is really cool that there's physical proof, because why else would those chariot wheels and horse skeleton heads be there? Obviously it's because the crossing really happened and they're finding proof of it, which is really awesome. Let's see. In 312 BC, the Romans first began to pave roads. In 1783 was the first hot air balloon. That's earlier than I thought. I didn't think it was that early. 1801, the road locomotive, so the car, was first built. 1814, George Stephenson made the steam-powered railroad. So we're just going through the list of like showing the increase in knowledge in travel. So let's see. In 1816, I can't pronounce that guy's name, but they had the first successful airship. Yeah, I need to work on my handwriting. Let's see. 1904, the Wright brothers flew the first motor-driven plane. It was only 120 feet, and it was at altitude of 10 feet at 6.8 miles per hour. So not very fast. I don't even know how it stayed in the air, only going that fast. But I guess it didn't stay in the air very long. It only says 120 feet, so that makes sense. 1957, Sputnik 1 was a man-made satellite. It was launched into orbit. And 1981, the space shuttle flew the first mission. 1920s, cars began to be common. In the 1950s, jet engine was developed. 1960s, high-speed railway system was launched in Japan. 1970s, the development of, let's see, the containment ships for imports and exports. 1980s, GPS technology. So that's crazy. That hasn't even been that long, really, for GPS. 2000s, they focused on sustainable transportation, the electric cars, hybrid cars, and now driverless vehicles, which you won't ever catch me having one of those. No, thank you. I mean, technology has good and bad, obviously. I'm sure by now we can see that. I just think, like the electric cars, especially the self-driving cars, are just so dangerous, I think, because, as we know, technology can malfunction. Technology also gets viruses, and it's just, it doesn't take much to crash a driverless vehicle on purpose or accident. Like people can hack systems and crash people's cars. I just think it's really dangerous, personally. Yeah, I'm all for gas vehicles. So there's something called the Moore's Law, Moores, and it says that every 18 months, the computing power would double. The ability to store data and information would continue to reduce in size and complexity. That's proven true today with the cell phone and the tablet. They say that modern phones have more space and speed and power than NASA's computers in 1969. I mean, back then the computers were massive too. And now you can hold them in your hand, and they have so much power. It's crazy. So an increase in knowledge. Diseases 100 years ago were easily prevented by some modern medicines. Cloud storage, AI, smartphones all continue to advance. They're even doing like holograms and stuff like that now. The AI thing freaks me out. I don't like that one bit. Puts my spirit on high alert when I see AI stuff. I don't like it. I get an icky feeling. I don't like it at all. Let's see. So they all continue to advance. Let's see. Like now there's pretty much instantaneous communication with texting, Zoom, anybody who still uses email. I mean, that's pretty, like, instant. You instantly get a text. You instantly can talk to somebody face-to-face on Zoom. Depending on how quickly they answer you, because I know some people you can text them and it'll be days later when they're like, yeah, I'm fine, how are you? It's like, that was like a long time ago. But yeah, back then they had to send messages out on horses and stuff and get people to bring it back, and or even with like things like Morse code, which I've always thought that was interesting, but I just can't understand it. Like, I get the concept that you're spelling out words, but I can't grasp that. So AI is now dominating modern technology. AI is even replacing human skill sets in certain jobs. I like I said, I personally feel very uneasy about it. Like especially with AI, like in terms of like robots and stuff. I mean, I think we've all pretty much seen the movie I, Robot, and we know how that ends. Doesn't end good. So I don't know why some people are so excited about that. It's like, did you watch this movie? Did you remember what happened? It's not a good thing. We need to stop. I personally am content with how things are now. Maybe back off the AI. Like that never happened. I would prefer that it would just be, pretty basic. I don't need all the extra crazy stuff. It's just freaks me out. Let's see. So a total of all the documented information from the dawn of civilization to the year 2000, like counting the scrolls and everything else. Let's see. It says that it would be equivalent to 5, let's see, exabytes, I think is what that says. So like a terabyte, is I think like 1,000,000 gigabytes or something like that. I'm not a mathematician. I don't remember that stuff. But so all the documented info from the dawn of time, including scrolls and everything else, to the year 2000 equals 5 exabytes of information. We now process that amount every 48 hours, apparently. That's pretty wild. So this is the second point. Is modern technology a gift from God or a trap from Satan? It's a two-edged sword for sure. God is using modern technology to accelerate the gospels to the ends of the earth, kind of like I said, we don't consider ourselves preachers by any means. We just like to do these Bible studies and talk about different things that we learn that I find interesting, because I want to talk about it with people, and it just makes it more fun to discuss online with other people. But this is like a form of technology. YouTube, right, is it's technology that's used to accelerate the gospel to the ends of the earth. So people are doing videos, and there was somebody that commented on one of our videos a little bit ago that literally said he was from the Philippines watching. That's crazy. Like it's getting out farther and farther with technology. So it is good. But there's, some bad things that come with it too. Like I said, the AI and stuff, that's not good. like you can make it look like people did things they didn't do. It's very scary. And it's starting to get to the point now where it's hard to tell the difference, which is what I don't like. I mean, it's fine when it's like, like CGI in like a movie or something, but when it's like used to make it look like, oh, the president is doing this or saying this, and it's that he never said or did that, it's very scary. I mean, you can get somebody unalived that way, I feel like. Yeah, it's scary stuff. So Matthew 24:14 says, gotta find it. And the good news about the kingdom will be preached throughout the whole world so that all nations will hear it, and then the end will come. So, I mean, that kind of shows how close we are to the end and Jesus coming back, is because, it is being preached to the ends of the earth. Like I said, with technology helps that. There are still, flesh and blood missionaries that go around from different Christian sects of, like I said, Christianity. They go around and still preach face to face. But technology is helping that for sure, with videos and all kinds of stuff. So one of the people that Tiff talks about a lot is Billy Graham, highly respected preacher, pastor. I've seen some of his videos too. Great guy. And it says that Billy Graham's last message reached more than any others in 60 years of teaching. So he taught for 60 years, and his last message reached more people than any of the other ones he did in 60 years. 1 billion people watched from his porch on a rocking chair. That's where he videoed it. Weak and frail in his 90s. And it says 1 billion people watched that video. I'm not sure if it was live or not. But technology can be used for evil, but, God prevails in the end. So, are modern advanced technologies described in Bible prophecy? So we're talking about things like, chips, and which I believe wholeheartedly is the mark, because it says that you can't buy or sell without it. And I mean, that's how it's going to end up, I'm pretty sure. Ring doorbells, cameras that are at every intersection, always recording. $15 trillion were spent to develop technology. So this is crazy. The Duo skin tattoos. Have you guys heard of those? It's a new technology, and it's like a tattoo that they can, like, it connects to technology and stuff. It's hard to explain. It's weird. You'll have to look it up. Duo skin tattoos. Let's see. The Google executive was obtaining data. Said that obtaining data is their main key. It will be used to modify individual behavior as we move into a cashless society. That was his quote, and that's very scary. It will be used to modify individual behavior as we move into a cashless society. So they're saying that it's going to be cashless. And the cashless society, literally in Matthew 24, I'm going to read here in a minute, literally talks about a cashless society being a sign that the Antichrist is here. People are unaware today. They are being controlled by such technology. Let's see. The mark of the beast, like I said, is going to be the one world currency, and technology is going to be part of that, I think. And Tiff thinks that too. So it says, and I think we mentioned this before in one of our last videos, or like one of the first ones, that it said that Neuralink, which is the name of the company that would be making those, the Greek numerical value in gematria, I think is how you say it. The Greek numerical value for that word is 666. And that's a little scary because, like I said, that's the company that would be making the chips. And so, yeah, the first original texts were Greek, Hebrew, and Latin. And so, we need to kind of look back to those older texts to get the meaning of words in their original form. Even things like central banks. During COVID, truckers, when they went on strike, it says Justin Trudeau shut off everything the truckers had. They shut down their whole bank account. It was really easy for them just to make it to where they had no money, which is really scary. That's kind of where things like, having cash all the time, or, like how back in the day, how they paid for and traded things with, gold and silver and whatever, that's, I don't know. It actually might be better to get back to that. It's just, the way they did things back then worked, So, is modern technology in the Bible described in prophecy? To me, it kind of sounds like it, because literally when it talks about the mark of the beast, especially, that has to almost certainly involve advanced technology for sure. So let me read this. Matthew 24. Is it 24? Hold on. Hold on. Might be 13. Oh, Revelation. Why am I in Matthew? What the heck? No wonder that didn't make sense. I was like, what? Okay. Yeah, here we go. So Revelation 13, 16 through 18 says, he required, now this is talking about the Antichrist, okay? The first beast is the Antichrist. The second beast is the false prophet. And then there's the devil, Satan, who is also the dragon. It's not an actual dragon. It says in here that the dragon is Satan. It says that. So the first beast is the Antichrist. The second beast is the false prophet. And and the dragon is Satan, and they work together. They are known in prophecy as the unholy trinity. Yeah. So anyways, it says he, meaning the Antichrist, required everyone, small and great, rich and poor, free and slave, to be given a mark on the right hand or on the forehead. And no one could buy or sell anything without that mark, which was either the name of the beast or the number representing his name. Wisdom is needed here. Let the one with understanding solve the meaning of the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man. His number is 666. So, yeah, I think we need to start paying attention more to technology and how that is going to play out in prophecy with the end times, because like in Revelation, some of the stuff they describe, or some of the stuff John describes, is crazy, because he didn't know how to describe certain things, because when they lived back then, they didn't have they didn't have cell phones. They didn't have, they sure didn't have AI or projection or, like anything like that. And so, he could very well be describing some type of a chip that goes in people's, right hands or in their forehead. And you can't buy or sell without it. I mean, he didn't know what else to write for stuff like that, We have to be open to the fact that it really could be a chip. And they were trying to say that, oh, it's like mostly for people with like or is it Parkinson's, or I don't know, something that like helps people be able to walk and whatever. Like I said, it's a double-edged sword, and I think that they're going to offer it up first as a good thing, and it's going to be your choice. And then then eventually I think it's going to get to the point where it's not a choice anymore, it's forced. And by the time that happens, it's going to be too late, and people are going to be like, whoa, what happened? I don't know. I have a bad feeling about that, especially because they were saying that the places on the body for those chips that makes it to where they function and work properly, they have to put it in your right hand or in your forehead. They said that. Like, I remember watching a video, I'm pretty sure that's where I saw it, that's what they were saying, is that like those are the two locations that have enough, I don't know if it's blood flow or whatever, and like body heat, and there's just like a bunch of different things that they have to calculate to make this thing work. And the two places for it is in your right hand or in your forehead, which is literally what it says. So one of the things that I don't agree with Tiff on is he says that it's very clear that the mark would be, because it says on the hand or on the forehead, and that the Greek or Hebrew or one of the first translations for mark, what the word mark means is like a etching or a brand or a tattoo or like a something like that. It's a physical mark on top, is what the word mark means back then. I think if people think that it's only going to be a physical mark on top that you can see visibly, I think that's scary for people that get that chip thinking that it's not the mark. I think a lot of Christians nowadays do think it is that. I think it is too. That's the one thing I think Tiff is wrong on. I don't think it has to be on top of like a physical mark you can see on the outside. I don't think it has to be that. I mean, when they're saying something goes on your forehead or on your hand, I mean, that's what Revelation says. So whether it's on top or inside, I don't think it matters really. I wouldn't want to put anything in those two locations anyways, just because of what that says. I don't care what it is, topical or internal. I don't want it, Yeah, and like I said, with that dream that I had, it was like a year or two ago, of technology was used in my dream to falsify the second coming of Jesus. It was. And it, so I'll just recap really fast. In the dream, I was in this crowded area and everybody was looking at something outside. They were looking at something. And it took me a while to like look around and figure out what they were looking at. But then I saw that there was a holographic projection of Jesus in the air. And I knew that it was fake. My body knew that it, and like my spirit knew that it wasn't him, there was a lot of, like, most everybody was like bowing down and being like, they were so excited, like, oh, he's finally here and all this stuff. And I was thinking to myself, like, don't they know that that's not him? Like, this is not real, right? And when I woke up from that dream, I got this feeling come over me of like, they're going to try and falsify my second coming. They're going to try and say that I have come, but that's not me. So if you see that apparition, just know that that's not real. Don't fall for it, because it's going to look real. And, obviously it looked real because a lot of people were fooled by it. And it does say in the scripture, if I can find it, I think it's for sure it was in Matthew. Everything's in Matthew. Hold on. I think it was in 24. Pretty sure. Yeah. So it says, let's see. Then if anyone tells you, look, here is the Messiah, or there he is, don't believe it. For false messiahs and false prophets will rise up and perform great signs and wonders, so as to deceive, if possible, even God's chosen ones. See that I have warned you about this ahead of time. So if someone tells you, look, the Messiah is out in the desert, don't bother to go and look, or look, he is hiding here, don't believe it. For as lightning flashes in the east and shines to the west, so it will be when the Son of Man comes. So yeah, they warn us that people will try and deceive and perform great signs and wonders, which a holographic projection or some kind of a projection would look like a wonder, like and it says that if possible they'll deceive even God's chosen ones. So he's warning us. And that dream was like almost confirmation to me that, like, this is probably going to happen in our lifetime. And we need to be aware of it, because when we see stuff, like especially nowadays, because we're so used to technology, which is kind of the scary part. Like we're used to it, so we don't really look sideways too much at things anymore. Like I said, me personally, I don't like the AI videos that I see. They really just set my spirit off. I don't like it. It feels wrong to me. I don't like it. So, I mean, we have to pray for, him to show us the truth about things, give us discernment. And, that's what I pray for a lot is, please just give me the discernment to know what's the truth and what's not, because I mean, nowadays the lines are so blurred. It's hard to, like I said, it's hard to like know what's real and what's not anymore, just because technology has gotten so advanced that, yeah, the lines are blurred and it's hard to tell. So yeah, we just need to always be skeptical of things and not believe everything just because you see it. Really, really take a second and third look at stuff before you believe things, because even things that are in front of your face aren't true sometimes, like with those AI videos and stuff. I mean, yeah, they can make things look real, and it's very scary. So we need to always be on guard spiritually. But anyways, yeah, so I guess that's it. It was a few pages. I went through it faster than I thought. I didn't realize most of it was just his notes that he wrote. But yeah, I think it's pretty clear that modern technology is in Bible prophecy, especially like I said with the mark of the beast. I think that's modern technology for sure. And the way that they're going to do signs and wonders, I think, has a lot to do with AI and projection and holograms and drones. And I mean, but when John wrote Revelation, he didn't know any of that, so he was describing things by what he saw and what he knew back then. And so, like, we have to remember that he's not going to get super specific and be like, oh, they're going to put a projection in the air to fool everybody, or they're going to put this chip in your hand and make it to where you can't buy or sell anything unless you have it. Like, he's not going to say that, because they didn't know that was even going to be a who would think that, that would be a possibility. So I don't know. I just think we need to be very careful and pray for discernment. Like I said, don't put anything in your hand or in your forehead or on it. Just be safe and don't do anything with those two spots ever. Yeah. So I guess that's it for today. And yeah, I guess till next Friday, stay blessed.